Hi there, Garrett Blevins again here at Point Loma, and I'm probably going to be committing some sort of YouTube faux pas by making a 14-minute video of workouts. And I have put three together, so bear with me. That averages out to about 5 minutes, which isn't so bad. I put the first day in here is week 4, day 3, the assistance day. You can see the pause squats over here, and it's dead stop benches. This was a good day for me. Everything felt together. Hips have been a little sore lately, but the volume I don't think has been bothering me too much. Brandon Lilly put up a post talking about how some of the volume in the cube is difficult, and I've added more volume into it, but I feel like my body's accommodating pretty well. Squats have really been going up lately. I feel stronger on squats than I've ever been, and I'm becoming more flexible. The shoes that I'm wearing that have this 1.5 inch on them heel. I think I can probably cut that in half, and hopefully I'll be getting some new shoes here around Christmas time. We'll see how all that goes. Also, I need some new deadlifting shoes. The ones that I have are slipping a little bit, so I need to switch some things up there. I have some announcements to make. I'm planning on going to the Nationals. Lord willing, we'll see how all that lines up, but I was thinking about the state championships in February for California. But instead, I decided, I've been doing this thing, go big or go home, and it's worked out for me so far. And so I'm going to go big or go home. I'm going to check out Nationals. It's going to be in Aurora, Colorado, and I think it's going to be really interesting. One of the things that's I found out today is that I can the weight classes are the IPF weight classes for Nationals, and so I can weigh 105 kilograms or 231 pounds. And so I have certain goals that I want to make, and gaining weight, body weight that is, that's definitely going to be helpful. So I'm excited about that. I was talking with one of the professors here at Point Loma in the kinesiology department, Ted Anderson, and I said, "Hey, I've got just about 7 months before this competition. All I need to do is gain 7 pounds of lean mass. Is that possible?" And I think that's possible, and he thought it was definitely possible if my nutrition's on point and my training's on point. His first question is, well, where do you want to gain it? And so my deadlift, I feel, has been lagging behind. And so I definitely like to probably put some of the weight in on my legs, and hopefully that'll work out. We'll kind of see how that goes. That's a new area of training for me where I'm really focusing on body composition and gaining some of that functional weight. I don't want to just gain 7 pounds. I think I could do that just gaining fat, but I don't see how that's really helpful. I'm not a geared lifter, so I don't think fat is just going to translate directly into strength gains. Muscle will, I think, though. As far as my goals for that, I'm already thinking about the numbers that I want. I'm trying to, in most of my planning and in most of the goal setting I have, I usually function off a 2.5% strength increase over every 16 weeks. Now, the training cycle between my first competition and my second, I gained over 5% strength. And in the next 16 weeks, I gained about 3.2%. And so those translate into, that was a change in total from 1559 to 1646. And so those were really good strength increases as far as I was concerned. Just a note on the videos, the pins are at 16 this day, and so it's more than last week. 17 puts it about inch and a half lower. And I work up to a PR this day. I'll talk about it when I get there. But in any case, goals for strength for nationals. I'd really like to get close to 680 on deadlift. I'd love to push out a 450 plus bench. And squat's the real wild card. I don't know what I'm going to do there. I've hit a 615 squat already on the cube that went up pretty easy. I think I may have been able to even hit 625. I feel that I'm probably close to there if I let my body recover and spend some time. We'll see when week 10 of the cube comes around what exactly I can hit, but I don't know, a 650 squat or a 640 squat would be really nice in competition. So those are some of my goals. I'd like to total high 17s, and that's what I'm looking at right now. But with the weight increase, as far as body weight, I think that's possible. Now here's a PR on dead stop benching. And something that's important about rep max is I had a mental block with 405 for a long time. Just with competition bench, I had issues with it and really hitting it cleanly with the pause. And after I was able to get 405, and even when I moved up to 425 last year, um, I never did anything but singles with it. And then I moved up to doubles and triples finally. Now I'm hitting sets of 5 with floor press, with dead stop benching, and for me, that shows a mastery of that weight. And now I can do sets of 5 with it regularly. I really feel like that's at that point when I can do a set of 5 with a weight I've dominated it, and I can start moving forward on rep maxes. Um, and I feel proud of that. That's an accomplishment for me. And so those, pay attention to your rep maxes, pay attention to your sets of 5 and what you can do. And I'm looking forward to when I can do 455 for sets of 5 like that, or at least sets of 3, triples. Triples should come before 5s. So those are sorts of things you can look forward to. This assistance day was really enjoyable because I went to conventional pulls. I'm in these Olympic shoes and I'm doing much more of an Olympic pull here. But these are the best. This is the best I felt, at least with my conventional pulling, probably ever, as far as I've been powerlifting. I don't know if when I was Olympic lifting in high school, if my form was good or not. I just didn't know enough back then to know the difference. But these felt great, so I'm happy about that. That said, this was a tough assistance day, but I felt recovered by the next Monday. This is a Saturday workout, and I work out usually Monday is day one, then Thursday, then Saturday. But this day just felt really good, and it was enjoyable. Sorry I didn't get the vid up earlier on that. That said, I was talking with somebody at work today, and I was driving him over. I was giving him a rotation to his shift post, and he just bought an exercise bike, and he's thinking about trying to lose some weight and get back in shape. And I told him my advice to him was whatever you do, make sure you write it down. Make sure you write down what you're doing, because I have a couple of rules of lifting. Maybe I'll make them official at some point, but I think everybody knows them. I'm sure somebody's made the official list already. I'm not qualified to make it anyhow. But my first rule of lifting is if you don't have a plan, plan to fail. Part of having a plan is writing it out and sticking to it. Not everybody enjoys making lists, but I really like making lists and crossing things out. I think it shows faithfulness. It shows that you can plan something and you can be faithful to complete it as it is written. And that's important. It's also important to be flexible. As I've said before, sometimes you have to go for it. When we get to the last workout in this vid, I go for it in a way, and we'll talk about that. But you have to be smart, and you have to stick to the plan. And there is a rewarding feeling that when you make a plan, stick to it, and you come all the way to the end. And so for me, that's really rule number one. So all right, so we've broken up. This is the next workout. This is day 1, week 5, speed squats and max bench. This is 390 on the bar. I really almost didn't feel anything out of these squats. I would have liked them to be a little faster, but at the same time, some days you're just slower than others, and that's the way that it is. But I would have liked it if they were just a little bit faster, but I think my nutrition was a little off this day, and well, sometimes that happens. I've been eating pretty bad, actually. I've been eating way too much processed foods, processed carbs, but that's my own problem, and that's where I need to do have some nutrition PRs and eat better. Those are PRs too, and especially if I'm looking to gain some weight for this nationals competition coming up in July. Anyhow, the second rule of powerlifting, as I see it, is train with perfect form. If you have a plan, the first thing that you need to do with that plan is implement it. But the only way to properly implement a weightlifting plan is with perfect form. And if you don't have the form to perform the weights, the repetitions with the weights that you have chosen, it doesn't matter how perfect your schemes are, how perfect your percentages are, your rep schemes, your volume, all of that. None of that matters if you're ingraining in yourself compromised movement patterns and teaching yourself how to do the lift wrong. You're going to get injured, and injuries are the death of powerlifters. If you get injured, not only is it a setback as far as getting stronger, can't get stronger when you're injured, at least not with the injured muscle, but it's a setback mentally. you're going to be afraid of that weight that you hurt yourself on. You're going to start to hesitate, and hesitation has really no place in powerlifting. You need to be going for it. You need to push hard with everything you have. You cannot be afraid. Sometimes you can learn from injury. I've learned from injury. It happens, I think, to everybody. I don't know any injury-free powerlifter that's really pushing around large weights. At the same time, you have to train smart. So if you don't make a plan, plan to fail. Once you've made that plan, rule number 2 is you train with perfect form. The third thing, and this is just me personally, I'm not saying that this has to be everybody's rules, but these are my rules. And I don't lift for myself. Some people lift for themselves, and that's all it's about. For me, lifting is not about lifting for myself. I thoroughly enjoy it, and for me, it's almost a trap to lift for myself, to focus on what I want to do. That's not what lifting's about for me. For me, lifting is a way in which I have been gifted genetically, probably. I don't get into a lot of that, but I think I have some advantages that others don't have, not because I'm better than them, but just that's the way God made me. And I'm not going to squander that gift. I'm going to make use of it. And so part of what the nation Israel was told to do in the Shema, Hear, O Israel, the Lord the God is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. A lot of people have heard that verse and kind of know what it means in general. But when it says love the Lord your God with all your strength, the Hebrew word there is much. Love the Lord with all your much. Well, what does that mean? It means love the Lord with all your you could translate it muchness, which it means talents, skills, abilities, the thing that you're good at. I don't know if everybody in the world is the best at one thing, but I think everybody in the world is at least really good at one particular thing. And maybe they're the best at it. You just have to find out what it is. In Deuteronomy, where the Shema shows up, the way in which one loves God is by obeying God and serving. It's kind of made up that way. And so I need to serve God with weightlifting. I don't know how it's going to work out. I don't know how to do it, but I need to do it somehow. And so for me to love the Lord with all my muchness, with all my strength, which turns out to be literal strength in this case, that means that I have to train hard. Now, other people can train hard for themselves or because they want the results, but I train hard because that's who I am. That's my identity. That's who I'm supposed to be. So, that said, on this day, I don't have a Wednesday night church because it's December and the programs have ended as far as they go. They give us a little time off. And so I decided to split my normal second workout of the week, Thursday, into a Wednesday, Thursday. So I did this Wednesday night, which is tonight, and I worked up to 655. And you'll see how this goes here. 625 went better than it's probably ever gone, even though it got out in front of me. A little slow off the floor, lockout comes easy. Grip is rock solid. My grip is stronger than it's ever been. And at that point, I really, really wanted to go for 675, for 7 plates. I've wanted 7 plates. That's a huge milestone for anybody. Anytime you get another 45 on the bar, you need to go for it. But also when I did that 655, I felt my pecs about to tear, my hamstrings, my hip flexors, everything was aching. And I had a choice. I had already done my rep work for the day. I'd done 505 for a set of 6. That was a PR. I already had a PR for the day. And I decided after talking with one of the professors who was in there, I asked him to come work out with me. He asked me a couple questions. And he said, well, is it a good day if you just hit 655? And I said, yeah, it's a good day. And he said, well, what if you hit 675? What do you get? Well, I get nothing if I hit 675. There's no award for gym lifts. And so I had another one of those training smart PRs. And you got to train smart. And I didn't go for any heavier. 655 was enough. Yeah, it wasn't a PR, but it tied my lifetime PR, and that's something to be proud of. All that said, I'm moving towards the goal that I have set for myself. And that goal is 7 months out right now. That goal is nationals. That goal is a 1780 or 1800 total. That's what my focus needs to be on. And so that's what I'm going to work towards, and I'm going to keep my head about me and keep focused on what's right. I'm going to train smart with a plan. Train right and train hard.